and welcome to episode 38 of Rigor Mortis Paranormal. Tonight's episode includes Slenderman in the Family, The Ghost Rider, Surfing with a Poltergeist, and more tales from the RMP family. I am David, this is Robert, Jasmine, Corin, Nathan, Savannah, and Mystery Man.
Hey guys!
Hey, hello!
AKA
I want to say, Dave, that I think you called Kory Corinne.
I would change my name.
I was running out of air there, man.
Karen's here.
Karen. Yeah, we'll call you Karen. How about that? Is that all right?
Corinne. If you call me Karen, it's kind of
Corinne.
weird. Corinne, I'll take that.
Corinne. Okay, we'll take that. And I guess we should probably mention who is Savannah and Mystery Man.
Well, Savannah is married to my cousin.
Okay.
They're
She's my
cousins of ours.
They're our cousins. They're family.
All right, there you go.
And why is she here?
She's got a story too,
She's
huh?
got a story. Something good, dude.
Mystery Man.
Mystery
we'll
Man?
find out why he's here.
You're gonna hear him laugh every once in a while.
Try not to.
And that's about it.
He's laughing quietly. Mystery Man laughing. Snagglepuss is here. Anyway, got a lot on the plate, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, Halloween's around the corner too.
Halloween is,
I guess not too far.
right, it was still August and we had Halloween shits at the dollar store.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was at the
We already
dollar
got
store, cheap
decorations
snacks.
up.
And it's so awesome because it's coming that's like our Christmas.
Yeah, right.
That is like our
true.
Christmas. We
Yeah.
love, oh my goodness, it's coming out and I was like, oh, Halloween. Yeah.
Woody.
But we got our Halloween special coming up, and this time we're trying something a little different. We're getting from different cities, paranormal teams, people that do ghost hunting.
Yeah, it's gonna be our special.
Yeah.
We're doing all.
So you're going to be like interviewing people that are in the field of paranormal?
Paranormal, there you go. Yeah, and exactly. And we got a couple on the chopping block who already made it to New York. We got San Antonio. We got one from hopefully LA. I know they're in. We're hoping UK and Chicago. Hopefully, also there's a lady that's actually been on a show called I think it's called Paranormal Survivors, and she's been wanting to get with us for a while and tell us. Well, that one we'll wait and see what happens with that one. We're hoping we get those Chicago stories coming out, and man, come on, man, Chicago's got a lot, man. It's got the Bachelor's Grove. It's got a ton of great stories that are coming out from there. So we're hoping they come out also.
Haunted Bratwurst.
Oh yeah,
Haunted Bratwurst Factory.
It's not what you think, though.
Oh sweet Jesus! Yeah, that's for our blue episode.
So who are you doing from here, Rob? Are you allowed to say?
Yes, I am.
San Antonio?
San Antonio Midnight Paranormal Society. They're gonna. They were actually next to us at the first.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah.
They're the ones that everybody was asking for.
Yeah,
we
we
were
got
there.
lucky because we were next to them, and they're the ones who gave us our
You're
crowd.
Can you point us in the right direction?
Nice boost.
Well, y'all got a lot of drunks at your thing because people thought y'all were selling beer.
Yeah, they thought we were
Yeah.
selling
Oh my
beer.
God,
That's
yes.
the mug.
That
we're-
guy that pushed everybody aside who was like, let me have, what are y'all selling? Let me have one.
Yeah, we gave them a couple of empty bottles. Here you go. These are empty. I was like, yeah, you didn't tell me that you wanted them full. But yeah, we got a lot of goodies coming up, man. And our favorite time of year, like I said, Halloween. I'm dressing for the part. I'm hoping to be a Pink Ranger. That's what I'm really. Skin tight.
You got the body
Yes,
for it. I'll say that.
yes. I'm waiting for the skin
I will
tight.
tell you.
Yes.
I will kill you. I'll call you Kelly.
Do you guys dress up still? Why do you don't know?
I don't remember what I dressed last year. I know I did Ursula one
the
year.
year
with
before.
from Little Mermaid. That was awesome. I love
Man,
that.
that was awesome.
No, I gotta show it to you, man. Jasmine did an awesome job making that. She's
Almost
awesome at
cast me
it.
for the role in the New Mermaid.
Yeah. Oh, he's big enough. Yeah. But man, I can't wait for that. I know everybody is
it's gonna be
happy.
fun.
And our lineup today, man, we got some pretty awesome stories, man. And I don't know what do you say, fellas. We want to get to that first
Yeah.
one. We'll do Savannah's, man.
Let's rock and roll.
So it's not my story, but it's a friend of mine's story. She was recently going to purchase a rental property in Seguin. So if a lot of people aren't familiar, Seguin has a lot of like really old houses. So this was an old like ranch house with all this land, and she's been in the process of buying it for about a month now, but she's ran into some complications. So the first time she went in the house, she just felt very uneasy in there. Like it's an old, really creaky house. Everything's old-fashioned. Well, after her first walkthrough, she started getting these dreams about the house. that this lady was just walking around the house and that was following her. So when she got up, she was freaked out about it. She told her dad. Her dad was just like, maybe it's nothing. Like, you're just scared because you're buying this house. So she starts talking to the realtor about what's going on. And the realtor ends up telling her that the lady who owned the house before that actually went crazy and they had to take her out and they put her in a home. So that kind of freaked her out because she's just like, okay, luckily no one died there, but I mean, that's still pretty creepy. Everything was fine. She went home, went to sleep. She had another dream that the lady was following her around the house, but it was in this one specific room in the house that she was constantly in. And the lady would like hide. She would go in that room, there was a bed in that room, and the lady would hide on the other side. And anytime she would try to leave the room, she felt like uneasy and the lady would try to pop out. So she would just close the door real quick. So they went into the house again to see it. They went to another walkthrough for it and she had her daughter with her. Well, her daughter kept telling her, "Mommy, ghost. Mommy, ghost. Mommy, ghost." And she was just like, "You don't know, like, no, it's okay." Like, she's just saying things, like, don't listen. Like, she kept telling her that. And it was in that one specific room she kept telling her. She was getting really uneasy feelings about it. She thought of pulling out. And she was like, "No, I'm just gonna, let me feel the house." So she went through the house by herself. She went into that room and she opened the closet door, looking around, making sure everything was still the way she wanted, trying to see if there's any repairs she had to do. She closed the door. As soon as she walked out of the room, that door creaked open. For it being an older house, she didn't think anything. She just figured, it could be the settling of the house, it could be anything. She goes through the rest of the room. She goes into the laundry room and she starts opening the above cabinets. Everything seemed fine. She looked out the window. She closed the cabinet. She started walking out and the cabinet door opened. She still didn't really think anything of it. In her head, she was just like, no, everything's fine. Like, it's an old house. I'm not going to think anything of it. She walked through the kitchen. Same thing. She opened the cabinet door, closed it, and the door creaked open. She left and she told her husband. Her husband's like, "What do you feel? Do you feel anything? Is everything okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, everything felt fine." She didn't trust her judgment. So then she went home. Everything was fine. Her husband asked her again, "Do you want to still proceed with the house?" She said, "Yeah." Went to bed. Had the dream again. The lady was following her, this time throughout the house. But it wasn't just her in her dream. Her daughter was in the dream as well. And that freaked her out. So finally, last time, it was day of closing. She told her dad, "I want to see the house one last time." So they went to go see the house. She just felt uneasy. Her sister, who's never been that way, was like, "I don't want you to buy this house." She goes, "I just don't feel right in here. I've never felt that way. Please don't buy this house." She walked through. She went through the back door. She felt something that just scared her. She didn't know what. She couldn't tell me what. She just felt that uneasiness. She told me her hair on her arm stood up. She felt chills. She turned to the realtor and was like, "I'm not buying this house." And they backed out.
Dude, I wouldn't have made it to closing.
No.
Me either. I was like, nope.
I feel
That's like
kids
3
and dogs.
creeks. Like,
Yeah.
3 creeks. That's it.
I think we were talking about this before about the stigmata law, and I know we discussed this before. Like, if there is something wrong with the property, especially something like that, they have to fully disclose about somebody dying in there.
But she never said nobody died in there.
But what made her go crazy?
But it could be like a poltergeist, right?
Yeah.
Because
That
poltergeists aren't
honestly-
necessarily when people die. It's
No,
just
that
when
that actually seems more like it could have been like a light ghost too, like
A light ghost.
yeah, like a residual. Like
Oh.
it's nothing
Oh.
really.
I thought that was like
real-
a heavy
but
ghost.
still-
Like,
Yeah,
like a fat ghost?
It's not a fat ghost,
Fat
right?
ghost.
It's not that ghost that sits around and eats chicharrones. It's the one that eats salads. Yeah, she's a
I want to
salad
see a
eater.
fat ghost. Huh?
Crystal light.
This ghost is on a keto diet.
I'm on Atkins. But well, you know what I mean. It's just like the hauntings that they evolve into something bigger. Like she was saying that the hair on her arms was, getting up when she's getting into certain spots.
When you got a shit.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. I just.
She's like, well, let me just try this toilet.
No.
One
more-
more. Know.
and there's the face. I'm deathly afraid of that. I know I've brought this up, and I'm not gonna say air quotes. Yeah, the face in the toilet. Why they would be there, I don't know. But
Every time my dad says he's scared of a face in the toilet, I'm like, trust me, Dad, no face is gonna do that.
they're gonna be
Not
scared.
in your
Oh my
toilet.
God, what am I doing? Wrong spot. Beat me up. But that's what I'm saying is because that's weird because they always evolve into something bigger, right? Yeah. So she's saying she's feeling all this. Okay, it may have been like real small things. It may have been real small things, but like later on, it's like the way we say, right? You know, and there's always the husband, like, yeah, you're imagining shifting of the house, right? And then the kids being dragged across the room by her hair.
I was like, did she go look at the Conjuring house? Like, where did she go? Did she go over and show you something? Like, what the heck?
Exactly right, because you don't know until when it starts acting up.
Well, it's interesting that she dreamt about it and gave that credence, like that the dream meant more to them. Well, at the very least, it's like your subconscious saying, pay attention to these things that maybe you aren't paying attention to, like in the waking world.
But yeah, you know what though? That's what I think. I mean, that's crazy too because she was smart enough to do that. Man, listen to her instinct. She's probably the first one that actually didn't have to go through all that bullshit. Like, hey man, it's time to go. What do you say, fellas? We get on to the next.
So how about Slenderman in the family?
This story comes to us from Lily. She says, I'd like to share mine and my grandfather's story with the RMP family. All my life, I grew up having night terrors. They were a big part of my life. I say this because they ran my life. My schoolwork, no friends, my sleeping pattern was all over the place, and as an adult, it even affected my job. I was always so tired falling asleep throughout the day in class, at recess, even in the bathroom stalls at school. It got to the point I tried not to fall asleep at night. My earliest memory of the night terrors was when I was about 7 years old. It was always the same thing over and over each night. After an hour of falling asleep, I'd wake up to my room being so hot to a point I felt my bed sheets drenched in sweat. The heat is what woke me up each night. I can open my eyes, but I could never move my body, arms, or legs. The only light in my room was that of a small window. I can see an image of a very tall, very thin, dark gray colored thing. I don't know that I can call it a person. It was taller than my ceiling, so it walked hunched over. It never said anything to me, it just walked over to me, looking down at me, its eyes completely black. Occasionally it opened its mouth, showing me its overly crowded yellow sharp teeth, and would slowly walk away, disappearing through my window. It happened like that over and over until I was about 11 years old. Then one night I woke up with two of them in my room. I can tell them apart from the one that was always there. The other one seems to be much smaller and aggressive. The smaller one would poke me with his very long fingers and tug on my hair. Even his eyes seemed different. It would stare at me more intensely. And then, just like the other times, they would be gone out the window. This happened all the way up until I was 15 years old. They never hurt me, but scary nonetheless. One day they just stopped showing up. When I was 18, I was visiting my grandparents, sitting outside on the porch with my grandfather. He always knew when something was on my mind or bothering me. I never mentioned what was going on with me to anyone. I thought maybe I was just nuts. But I found myself telling my grandfather everything. When I was done telling him, I waited for him to laugh at me or call me crazy. But instead, he told me he wanted to show me something. He went inside and came back with a drawing he said he drew when he was younger. It was a picture of my night terrors. He saw the confusion on my face. Hesitating at first, he told me these same night terrors were coming into his room at night, from a very young age until he was 14 years old. He never got the two night terrors like I did. It was always just the one. And he said it too always left through the window. He said that it came back to him twice since. Once when he was 25 years old and again at 42 years old. He told me both times he remembered it coming into his room, but didn't remember it leaving. He said he woke up both times the next morning with a big bruise covering his whole stomach and ribs, and a lot of pain, and it was hard to breathe. I'm now 23 years old. I've gotten married since and told my husband about my night terrors. He thinks it sounds more like aliens than night terrors. Well, whatever they are, I'm scared they're going to come back. I had a friend of mine draw a picture similar to my grandfather's drawing, and I'm sending it to you with my story.
Man, that was awesome. What do you think, Mystery Man?
You gotta hear you.
I think it was nice.
He didn't call you out the whole time.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't
what was
know.
that?
What was it?
You know, and they also mentioned it. Maybe it could have been an alien too.
Yeah,
I was like, you know that?
extraterrestrial.
If y'all see the picture that we're going to put out, it kind of does. It looks like
Yeah, check it, yeah.
Slenderman
what is a Slenderman though? Is
Yeah,
it alien or is it demonic or?
I mean, to say it's not an alien, you're
exactly.
right.
Well, okay, let's go back to that.
Actually,
because
I think it's just an internet legend.
Yeah,
that
it was.
It's real. Like, now it's real.
It's real.
Not only that, man. The Slenderman didn't he wear a suit?
Yeah, he got like a.
He got tired of being naked.
That he wore.
Where did he even find a suit that tall, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, big and tall.
They're the ties as long as around my waist, my belt. It's like, oh, that'll do.
How do we know aliens don't wear suits?
That's true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, maybe it too, man. I mean, it's just a perverted Slender Man just looking in the window with no clothes, man. I don't know.
He's like, we doing this?
It's all pretty intriguing. I honestly like I said, I like the extraterrestrial, but I like it all like that. It can go both ways with that.
You know, it almost puts paranormal and alien together.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, you were discussing a while ago, Nay, you were saying something about science, about
undiscovered science.
Undiscovered science, you know, but the same thing with aliens, you know, it's an undiscovered.
Well, and they do that with other things. Like, there's a whole set of people that believe in like Sasquatch and Bigfoot and Yeti, but they believe that it's an interdimensional being. It's not really.
That's why they never find them, right? They never find no bones and stuff like that.
Like,
you can just.
Does he go between like universes?
Yeah, he's just zipping across.
Wow.
You know, that's what they.
He doesn't run very fast. He smells like hell, but after a while you stink. God damn, it stinks, man. I don't smell it no more. Because he
dimensional jumping. Yeah.
I mean,
Why
same
are we
thing.
the only people that can't jump?
I know, right?
Hey,
Because you know what? We'll probably fuck that up too, man. No, don't invite him. Don't invite him. The Sasquatches are good. They just need to take a bath, man. But other than that,
but yeah, you know, you hear like, you know, demons sometimes, or not demons, but I mean, they're like, you know, like we said, the lady, the last story that we had, that they saw each other, the lady and the ghost, and I mean, they looked at each other and they're like, you know, what are you doing here? Like to each other. So, you know, maybe there's other dimensions that, you know, they're intermingling, and then aliens, you know, I've heard also, you know, maybe they're from the future, and it's us, you know, humans in the future, you know, coming back, you know, and, you know, traveling through time, I guess.
What's so
there's just all these things that are just...
But yeah, that's crazy, man. I can't make heads or tails of what's going on with this one.
Yeah. But it was a great story, though.
It was.
Yeah, that was awesome.
An
Thank
awesome
you.
drawing, too.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That was so
that's
crazy,
really
man.
Yeah.
Whoever did that, I don't know. What do you say there, Mystery Man? Just the only thing you're gonna say in this thing, and I'll leave you
Is it
alone.
extraterrestrial or paranormal?
I'll say Slenderman.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Let's go with the Slender Man
It
then.
spoke!
Yeah.
You know what? Mystery Man says Slender Man.
We're going with that.
I concur.
I think we should get to the next one. How about that?
Which one is that one?
How about the Ghost Rider?
Which one is that one?
Ghost Rider. That's the one about a ghost rider.
With Nicolas Cage?
Hey guys, this is Roxanne, and I was calling in a story about my mom when she was younger. I guess I was like under a year old, and my mom was staying, she lived with her sister. I guess she was going out like every weekend or something, and I had to tell my mom, why don't you just stay home this weekend, stay with Roxanne and me. My mom's like, no, I want to go out, I'm going to go out. And my aunt was like, well, I'm not going to take care of Roxanne. And she says, well, then don't. I'll leave Roxanne with someone else. So my aunt gave in, and she watched me that night. But she's being really upset at my mom. She says, you're not going to give up until the devil comes out on you. So my mom, being a smartass, well, as long as he's cute, I don't care. So then her friend Yolanda, and her friend Rosie, they all took off downtown. It's called Chinatown. I guess it was dead, so they were bar hopping. And they went to one bar, and there was like nobody, so they were going to walk down the street to another one. And when they were walking, this guy pulls up in this car, and my mom says he was really handsome. She's like, he was like really, really cute. She said that her and her two friends were fighting over who was going to talk to him because he was so cute. They're like, no, I seen him first, whatever. He asked them, hey, you guys want to go to this one bar? I think it was called the Coronita or something like that. And they were like, well, yeah, we'll go. So they jumped in the car with them. Well, he took off, I guess, further than they were supposed to be going. So they got scared. My mom and her friends got scared, and they're like, well, you know, hey, let us go. Let us off right here. So he's like, no, it's okay. I'll take you guys where you guys are going. And they're like, no, just let us off right here. So my mom said that her friend Rosie, I guess the bravest one, she had said, right now when he pulls over, she says, you guys get off the car and run, and don't come back no matter what you hear. So when he pulled over, they jumped out of the car, and they tried to grab my Aunt Rosie from the front, and he wouldn't let her go. He just kept saying, do you guys want to ride? Do you guys want to ride? And they were like, let her go, let her go. So finally they had gotten out of the car. All three of them got out of the car, and they were running to this truck stop, I guess. She said that the guy was just speeding in his car, and that you could see the sparks from the bottom of the car because the guy was driving so fast. And they finally got to the gas station, and they ran in screaming and crying. And one aunt, her shirt was ripped, so she was holding herself together. And these truck drivers are like, what's going on? What's going on? And they're like, that guy out there, he's chasing us, and he's trying to run us over with his car. And so the guy's like, okay, we'll go find him. So these truck drivers, they took off. And after a while, they come back like really, really scared. And my mom said that one of the truck drivers had said that they were like, well, what happened? Did you guys catch him? And he's like, no. They're like, you guys aren't going to believe this, but that they were chasing him, and that out of nowhere, his car just disappeared. He's like, we were right behind him, and his car disappeared. No lights, nothing, no dust in the road, like flying in the air, nothing, that he just disappeared. So my mom, she was scared, and she tells me, she's like, it was the devil. She's like, do what I say, because if not, the devil's going to come out on you, the way her sister had said. She says that she believes that it was the devil, like a lesson, I guess, because she had said, as long as he's cute, I don't care. And she said that the guy was really, really handsome, that her and her friends were like, I talked to him first, he talked to me first. You know, they were all fighting over who was going to talk to the devil. Thanks for your guys' time, and you guys need to put more stories out there, more episodes, like once a week. I'm tired of hearing those old ones. Thanks, guys. Bye.
How close are you to your mom right now? We got some words.
Big question.
Yeah, I think we want to talk to her, man. She's like, he's gorgeous, but he's got hoof feet. I don't know. But that's okay.
She's like, it's not a deal breaker, but
it's not a deal breaker.
And they were fighting over her.
Yes.
Yeah, they were fighting.
And didn't one get left behind because she was trying to save the other? That's admirable, but I think she was trying to keep him.
She was like, I'll sacrifice myself.
Air quotes, sacrifice myself.
Hey, you know, there was a one part too where she said the car was speeding off so fast that there were sparks coming out of the back.
Yeah,
so you know what? That's what I say. Is the devil driving a lowrider? Or?
Oh yeah,
Like,
you know the devil drives a lowrider.
Like,
You know,
He basically
chain
pulled out
steering
all
wheel.
the tricks to fucking pull her mom in.
This is from Cali?
This is a California story.
Oh, so
Cali.
Cal.
I believe they live here now. The one telling the story, I may be wrong, but this story is a Khalifa story, man. And yeah,
But
there
don't you
isn't
think that if the devil wanted to grab someone, the devil just grabs someone? I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you don't have
You know?
to reel him in. He's just
But you know
like,
what? He probably, I mean,
But he
you
had
know,
three.
not decide if he won, but he probably thought like, oh, she's easy.
She's
No,
gotta grab her.
I got 3 easy.
I
Right?
know, Steph likes to play games.
Right?
You're like, what if I have all of them?
That's true,
man?
yeah.
He likes to play games.
Let's just point out everything that she said.
Okay.
She said, I don't care, I'm gonna leave my 1-year-old at home so I can go have fun.
But the
And
sister
as long as
didn't-
he's
handsome.
cute, he's cute. Oh.
It is like you're saying, then I don't know how to go because she's probably gonna get bit. I hope she doesn't get mad, but we're sticking up for you, Roxanne. We are sticking up for
You
you.
were a baby, we were concerned about you.
We were. I was like, how
So
you?
this is from the perspective of the baby.
Well, as
What?
an adult, not
No,
Okay,
this
you know,
is, she,
yeah.
she
She's
grew
telling
up
the story.
until
Yeah, okay, I
she-
get it.
yeah.
I get it.
And yeah, you should have stayed home and watched Mannix or whatever was on that.
General Hospital.
Yeah, you know, hey, but it happened. But
And,
I mean, I think even if it's not a supernatural story, it's scary.
it's scary anyway.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the car
Abducted.
disappeared, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's weird.
I mean, it's a weird story because like we take everything with a grain of salt, and like we're saying, okay, look. It's like you said, right? Did they really follow him all the way where he disappeared, or was
Yeah,
his
right,
car
yeah.
was maybe faster? I don't know, you know. But like
Yeah,
for it to
sparks.
disappear,
Maybe they just pulled up a little, right?
that's what I'm saying. You know, like it.
Well, this whole story, I don't know if does it sound familiar to you guys, because it's kind of like a derivative of, and it's got the same lesson of that story where the woman goes out to dance and she's dancing with some handsome guy.
Yeah, that's
on
here in
the-
San Antonio.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
chicken
And
foot.
they
That's
find
the
out
same
it's
thing.
the devil. It's
That's
the
the
devil.
camaroncito here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is like I was like, okay, but they ran into him driving. You know, like he was trying to get there, but like,
From the
hey,
club,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, hey, man, hey, what's up? Like my chicken foot.
I mean,
San Antonio to California to Georgia. That's where
Yeah,
he went.
exactly. Go play the fiddle.
hey, stories gotta come from somewhere.
Man, she's gonna be pissed, but
no, we joked because it turned out okay. So
yeah,
it did. And we're okay.
And in reality, I don't know when this was, but I know the '60s and '70s were a different time. I mean, you actually could jump in somebody's car.
The '80s, man.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Actually, really, for real, Roxanne, that was a great story.
It was.
It was awesome.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, fellas.
No, yeah, and of course,
sorry.
that none of it was, we.
We're not trying to be.
No, she's a regular listener. You said right?
Yeah. She said this other story, an awesome story.
Yeah, she's a value.
Yeah, and she is a valuable. She's a valued customer. No, she is. Her stories that she sent in were actually awesome.
But let's get to the next story. This next one is called "Surfing with a Poltergeist."
Oh yes,
that's a pretty good surfer story, dude. Hang 10, bro.
Mahalo, dude.
Mahalo, yeah.
That's right, bro.
What's up, RMP gang? My name is Tyler, and I'm 17 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California, and this is my ghost story that I would like to share with you. I come from a long line of surfers on both of my parents' side. We take in surfing as much as we can during summer break or school holidays. Both of my parents are expert surfers, so I've been surfing for as long as I can stand, maybe even before that. We usually get a hotel room, and on weekends we go surfing. But last summer my parents decided to rent a bed and breakfast near Huntington Beach, just one of the many beaches we surf at in Orange County, California. It was supposed to just be my parents and me, but last minute I decided to invite my best friend Brad. The B&B looked nothing like the pictures my mom showed me from the internet. It smelled odd and musty. At first my parents were very upset about it because it wasn't the type of place we usually stay at. Even the beds looked old and musty. Luckily we always carried our sleeping bags when we traveled. That never made sense to me, but at this moment I'm glad we did. My dad told us to make the best of it, since we wouldn't be here during the day. We unpacked the car and put the luggage in the room, and the few groceries in the refrigerators. It was mostly beverages like orange juice, water, and milk, morning stuff mainly. It was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when we headed out to do some surfing, and didn't get back to the B&B until 7 that evening. When we got up to the door, my dad was pushing on the front door to open it, but was struggling to do so my friend Brad helped him push it. All of the luggage that we put in our rooms were all now pushed up against the front door. My mom looks at me, telling me, "That's not funny, Tyler." I yelled, "But Mom, I didn't do that, I swear." She just turned to me with that scolding look on her face. I've been known for being a prankster, but that was not me. We were all pretty tired out from the sun and surfing, so we left it alone. My parents going into their room, and I decided to shower while Brad watched TV in the living room. The bathroom smelled like wet, rotting wood. That's the only way I can explain it. I was finished with my shower and I started to dry myself off when the lights went off. I was standing there in total darkness and naked. I started to reach for the light switch, but couldn't find it, so I reached for the doorknob. I finally found it and pulled the door open, but somebody on the other side grabbed the doorknob and pulled it back shut on me, and was holding it shut. So thinking it was Brad, I tell him, "Brad, I'm going to kick your ass." Still, someone was holding the doorknob on the other side of the door. "Brad, cut your shit. I can't see a thing in here." Just then, Brad opens the door with a confused look on his face. Then, a shocked look on his face. For a second, I forgot I was still naked. I wrapped a towel around me, pushing Brad out of the way, yelling, "You asshole pervert," walking to my room pissed off. The next morning we wake up to my mom cursing at me and Brad from the kitchen, so we get up to see what the yelling was all about. There was orange juice spilled all over the kitchen floor. I tried to explain to my mom that I showered and went straight to bed. I looked at Brad and he tells me, "Don't look at me, I never even went into the kitchen last night." But of course my mom didn't believe us. My dad came out of his room half asleep and asked my mom why she was standing by the bedroom window last night. She said she never got out of bed last night until this morning. I started thinking, putting everything together. I told my parents, "I think this B&B has a ghost." Both her and my dad started laughing. My mom said, "Yeah, their names were Tyler and Brad," throwing 2 towels at us to clean the orange juice from the kitchen floor. We headed back out for breakfast and more surfing. We came back to the B&B a little late that night since we stopped for dinner after surfing. My dad asked me and Brad to bring in the surfing boards so he can clean them in the morning before going home. Me and Brad brought all 4 boards in, leaning them on the living room wall. I decided against the shower that night and went to bed. I woke up to what sounded like really hard scratching on the walls coming from the living room. I got up to look around. I can hear it but couldn't see anything. I turned the living room lights on. The sound stopped and I didn't see anything unusual or out of place. So I turned the lights out and went back to bed. Come morning time, my mom comes into the room, waking us up, asking what me and Brad did to her surfing board. We both looked confused, so we got up to go see what she was talking about. On the floor, there was a pile of shredded wood. Her surfboard had deep scratches going all the way down the board. I didn't even bother trying to explain that one. My dad stayed looking at the board in shock. My mom asked him if it could have been some small animal. All he could say is, "Get your things, we're going home." I feel bad for Brad.
Poor Brad got drug into the situation.
Yeah, he was trying to help a fella out, man, and the towel fell off of this guy, and he's just like, "Dude, I'm just trying to help you."
I feel like we've all been Brad at one point.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Been Tyler's.
I don't think I have, but okay.
Maybe that was the
If you
Tyler.
haven't been Brad, you were a Tyler.
I was a wild animal scratching up the surfboard. That's what I was.
That's a trip, though, man, because this is a kind of a haunted place that they're at, man. It had to be in some place that they just kind of crept into.
But they didn't. It was a last minute thing. I think he was saying they didn't go to their normal spot.
Who sent this in, Brad or Tyler?
Tyler sent it in. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But Brad came along for the ride, and man, he just saw too many things he didn't want to see. That's what happens when you try to. If he got blamed for everything, right? You scratch my board. You got called a pervert when he was trying to help somebody out. You're like, man, what the fuck? If I would have known this shit would happen, I would have stayed at home and surfed at home, man. You got big waves at home.
Did you see the ghost bed? I don't know. Tyler don't put his fucking clothes on. That's really scaring me.
I just keep thinking that he was trying to wrap himself around the towel and walk away. Pervert. Yeah. And like, dude, what the hell? I'm trying to help you out, bro. Pervert. Mahalo. Mahalo.
Oh shit.
No, mom and dad go get the boards. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, man. So they gotta go out there, bring the boards in. They line them up all pretty and perfect, right? And the next thing you know, Brad. Poor Brad. He's like, man, I'm waking up, dude. Come on, man.
Brad's like, let me put my clothes on.
He slept in his clothes. What are you talking about?
That's
what Brad did, yeah.
Well, we don't know that though.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, have you ever been scared, like naked, in a scary situation?
Naked in
a shower,
naked and afraid?
Well, yeah. Because you know.
You don't really think, man. You're just like, man, I don't care who sees.
You can't run out the door either.
Like, I can't fight a ghost naked. What the fuck?
Yeah,
but you start tripping out because he was trying to open the door. Really, he really was. I mean,
if you're gonna be naked, you have to like set blankets around the house or like ropes or something, right?
Okay, the haunted house that we were at, and I can see where not Brad, Tyler was coming from. One time I was sitting on the toilet, man, and we had no light or electricity. We had to use the candle in the restroom because there's no light there was no window in the room.
Really scary.
No. What happened? Well, it got scared because
shirt on or off?
The light,
probably off.
Shirt on or off?
The light, we had no choice for it to be off because
the shirt.
Was your shirt on or off?
Oh, hell yeah, man. I just had my socks in the big. My clothes were folded on the side and stuff. But the thing is that we didn't have no electricity at that time. Remember?
Yeah,
I remember this.
Yeah.
So we had a candle on the back of the tank. And when I reached over to grab the toilet paper, my elbow, I swung around, I knocked the candle into the trash can, and it was full of toilet paper because back then we didn't flush the toilet paper. We didn't want it to yeah, no, but it lit up.
Oh, you were saving water?
We didn't have water either.
So the smart idea was to put the candle behind.
We didn't have no water, man. I mean, we were broke back then, so we had to go next door and borrow a can of 5-gallon bucket of water.
Yeah.
We just flush them down like that. And there you go.
Water.
Buy logs. So when I did that, I knocked the candle into the toilet, the toilet paper, and it caught fire. Not kidding, man. Without wiping, without pulling up the pants, I took off. I ran out the door, and my brothers were laughing at me. I was
hurry, run to the neighbors, get some water.
I do know that naked feeling because I don't want to get burnt up, man. I'll wipe later. I think it took me
about that later. How old were you, Rob?
Man, I must have been about 4 years old, man.
14 or
I was 27 last year. But the thing is that, like, I'm thinking poor Brad because he was just trying to help this fella out, and he didn't want to see no action. He's like, and this guy called him a pervert on top of that. It's like, dude, well, fuck you. I'm not gonna help you next time. I'm not gonna. You're gonna have to sit there. But like, he got blamed for everything, man. Poor Brad. I'm sticking up for you, Brad, and poor Tyler, man. You know, they you know.
Not poor Tyler.
Well, Tyler, he got blamed for the scratches on the board, man.
And
too,
pouring orange juice on the floor in the morning and stuff too. So I mean, you know.
But you know, it is a B&B, so Lord knows what happened.
Yeah,
because there's a ton of people going in and out. It's like a hotel. I mean, you don't know what kind of shit's going on.
They found
a
few needles, you know.
B&Bs are always fucked up, man. It doesn't matter which one you stay at.
Even if they're nice, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing too is that because they went through all this, you know, the poor guy he went through this and the poor Brad, man, he just tried to help this guy out, man. He's like pervert.
Brad.
What kind of gets me though, man, is that they know how to surf, man. Have you ever tried to get on a surfboard?
Oh man, you know what? I've been on a boogie board before up there in the Huntington Beach, man. Got on the thing and man, I used to love getting on that thing. Man, I swear though, that water hits you right. If you don't know what you're doing, like me, I mean, you're screwed, man. Man, I was like that one time and. I'm like, real cool. I'm on there, and this thing starts scraping me on the bottom. I lost the board, and man, all my chest is just getting scraped on the bottom. And next thing you know, I can see my leg, my feet are right here by my face. It's like it curled my legs. Yeah, it folded me in half, man. My legs were up by my head, man. And I was like, what? No, man, I'm serious, dude.
It was Brad.
No, I got up, man, and I'm just like, like bleeding and stuff. And the old nips are bleeding, and I'm like,
that's what I was saying though, because I couldn't even stand on one. If I stand on the surfboard, if I stood on a surfboard, it'd sink to the bottom, grazing across the water. Hey, I can do this, but the water's up to my chest. I'm riding the waves on the coral reef. Yeah, like I think I got this.
The waves are just going over you.
Two surfboards.
But that's what I'm saying is because seriously though, with all that other bullshit that happened with the orange juice and all that, man.
Crazy. I bet they never went back to that place though, man. I was like, you know what, man, next time going back to the Marriott or whatever it is.
Okay.
I mean, but
maybe they want a good.
But here we go with the dad story again. Remember, the kids saw all that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then the dad saw the scratches. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Right there, it's time to go home. I was like,
yeah. But before that, it's like, everything's going.
Yeah, we're good. You know, a little orange juice on the floor won't hurt nobody. You guys, and they made him clean it too, right? Like, fuck, I didn't do this shit, man. Fuck, I should have never. Brad bitching, man. Fuck this, man. I want to go home, man. Just cleaning it, right? Yeah, with the mop and shit. Just like, man, dude, fuck this shit, man. I want to go home, dude. Yeah, he's like, no, come on, just stay one more night, man. Just you can see me naked. I'm sorry, Tyler, man. I'm just fucking with you, man.
Maybe the dad sent something too. That's why he was like, let's go.
Yeah.
He just didn't say
He
anything. He was just like, we're going to blame it on them.
Yeah, something scratched his ass across the night. like, it felt good, but it's time to go. Having less scratches on my ass.
I have too many questions. We got to go.
But that's the thing, though, man, because, like, I mean, you run into shit like that. I mean, I wonder if something happened in that room that brought that on, you know. Like, and it must have not been real, well, how do you say it, malicious? Because, because...
Never attacked them.
Yeah, they were never attacked, but, I mean, would you say that this was already in that bed and breakfast?
I think so.
You never know what happened in there before.
Yeah.
The way it was... You don't know who was there before.
You don't know.
Maybe it was attached to the surfboard.
That's you know what I was just about to say.
Why though? That was their surfboards. Remember they paid a lot for them.
They just went surfing at in Huntington Beach.
But they didn't buy them there though. They had their surfboards.
That's what I'm saying. But maybe it was a ghost from the ocean or something. Got attached to the board and came back.
Maybe because they were better surfers, right?
They're jealous.
They did attack the board.
Yeah,
like, what did the board do it?
Yeah, you try surfing now.
Maybe they were jealous of Tyler's naked surfing body.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they wanted Brad.
Yeah.
They were jealous of Brad for seeing Tyler's naked. So
There's so many what ifs. Like, there's so many different scenarios that could have been possible.
But honestly, though, man, that was an awesome story. But it just like, man, poor Brad, though, man. Brad got caught up.
Yeah, he did, man. Brad. And you know Tyler too, man. He got into it.
Tyler got into it, but Tyler blamed. Come on, Tyler blamed Brad.
Oh, he was blaming on Brad.
Feel Brad's discomfort from sitting here. Like, you can't
I know.
feel it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so awkward.
Yeah, I wonder how many surfing adventures he went after that. No, man, you blame me for looking at. That was me, bro. Like,
I wonder,
hey,
did
you want to go with me to Orange County? We got some big waves. Mahalo, brother. It's like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm gonna watch
surfing.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Avengers today.
Yeah, it's true. Did you?
I'm skateboarding.
I'm a skateboarder now.
I do knitting.
Yeah, I took up crocheting.
I think this is the most we've done in telling the people we need to stop, because I know they're sending their shit in, and I know it is important, and we are we're
just
joking.
making fun of them now.
Like, dude, I thought you told me I could trust these people. I'm like, yeah.
We're serious too.
We are, because honestly, I'd like to know the name of this place, man, to see if
there's other stuff going on.
Yeah,
There's history on it.
yeah, just to see what's going on. Somebody maybe got murdered in that room or something. That's crazy, man. But you know what, Tyler and Brad and the rest of your family, thank y'all so much for that. Brad, we're just messing, and Tyler.
Close on, Tyler.
No, thank you much, Tyler. We do appreciate your story, and yeah, again, like we said before, I mean, we've said before, we just like to make light of the situation, just because we know, hey, it is an ugly experience. Yeah. You know, it is. We've been there. We've had the same. You know, we've had issues
and this
before.
Is exactly the way we handle it.
Yeah, and I mean, we fully believe you. I mean, it's just...
Yeah. It's just
I don't know about that a grinding car before, though, man. I think there was just a lot of heavy ladies in that car.
It's Tokyo Drift.
It's too heavy in the back. I can't go back straight.
Tokyo Drift.
But no, honestly, to everybody here tonight, we love those stories, and they were awesome, and thank y'all so much. We like I said, we love to have fun with this, and we don't mean nothing by it, and we totally believe everything that you're telling us, and we need all those stories that we're getting back. We're hoping that, hoping after this episode that we get more stories. I don't know, that guy's talking about me being butt naked. I'm telling him a story.
I mentioned it once.
You know, yeah, we're getting to the point of the story. We're going to try and ask people to send in their stories, but
fuck that.
In the back of my head, I'm thinking nobody's going to want to call us.
But it's just
maybe that's why they will call us.
Yeah, I'm thinking too, because we know that all our listeners have a sense of humor, and that we all go through this. You know, we've all been through this stuff, and like I said, me and Dave been through the same shit. The best thing to do is just laugh about it. But I mean, sometimes there's some really fucked up stories that we hear that you can't laugh about. But we thank y'all very much. And if y'all do have stories for us, we want you to call in. That number is 210-901-8666. And remember, folks, that's a 3-minute call. And if you go over the 3 minutes, please call back and let us know that it's a part 2 or part 3 or part 4, however many times you got to call back and relay your story to finish it, and we'll edit that story to make it sound like one big happy story there, and we'll try not to laugh as much. And David, what if they don't want to call that bad boy?
Well, if you don't want to call in, you can always email us. You can email us at rigormortisparanormal@gmail.com, or you can just visit us online at www.rigormortisparanormal.com. There's a little button there that says submit a story. You can submit your story there. However you decide to get it to us, man, we'd love to have your story. Just call us or email us. Do what you got to do. Get your story to us. We'd really appreciate it. And if you want to hear us, I mean, I guess if you're hearing this, you're hearing us. But we're available on quite a few different
venues.
Venues. I don't know what you call them. Different platforms. There you go. Thank you, Nay.
What if we want to become Patreon?
Well, there's you can sign up on Patreon. It's there's a thing there you can sign up for $1 a month or whatever, however much you want to do. Somebody donated last time. We were talking about like $5 through PayPal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so it wasn't
$5
a mistake.
a month. No, it wasn't a mistake.
Tyler's like, fuck that. But no more.
Somebody donated $5. We thought it was a mistake.
Yeah, it was on
It
PayPal.
was not a mistake.
And I wasn't on Patreon. That's actually on our website. On our website, there's a little button that says donate. It's PayPal through PayPal, and they've given us $5. They probably don't I bet you they don't know yet because it hasn't hit it hasn't hit a second time.
Well, how much is 5 times 12? That's like $60 a month.
$60 a year? Yeah, man, we can buy a couple of 12 packs with that, man. A few of them, man.
We're moving up.
I want to see that one speaker
Plus
that
the
Joe
ones.
bought. Where's that one speaker?
Where is
that
it?
Joe bought?
I have it. I just did. I didn't break it out today.
We bought these nice stands.
Yeah, we got these nice styrofoam stands.
I made those at home on styrofoam.
Piece of duct tape.
Is there a special episode on the horizon?
There is a special episode on Halloween again. We were just discussing that. I guess a little earlier we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're still trying to get that nailed down right now. We still got fellas that are still trying to get their they're trying to get the stories together, and we got a couple of awesome stories, man.
God, that's gonna be good because basically what we're doing is telling them to submit their best story, and these are guys that are ghost hunters. This is what they do. They go hunt ghosts and stuff, or
we
they
got a couple of doozies. So they're pretty good.
So that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be our Halloween episode. So you can look out for that on October 31st. Although it's a little ways away, but still, I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're taking care of you fellas.
There you go. And then our special guest today, we got Mystery Man in Savannah.
We appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, that's fun.
So
He's good.
he mumbled something. I don't know.
I think I heard something over there. I don't know what that was.
We got the cat dropper. Sorry.
Until then, see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.